Hey guys, what's going on? Darren here from the Strategy Cantina, and today I'll be telling how I would feel a Covenant Battlecruiser. Okay, first, ground rules time. I can't use any named characters, so Master Chief, Cortana, not on the table. But I can still use Spartans. We'll set the battle in the middle of the Human Covenant War, so I'll only have access to UNSC ships from around that time period. To make this fair to the UNSC, the Covenant will only have a regular light scout fleet, which usually consists of one Battlecruiser and 2 corvettes. But for this scenario, we'll not have any Banshee fighter craft. The UNSC fleet I would use would consist of 5 Marathon-class heavy cruisers, 10 Paris-class heavy frigates, and 2 Spartan teams on 2 Pelicans to board. And they're on one of my frigates. So, how'd the battle go down? The UNSC would have detected the Covenant scouts near a moon. My UNSC fleet would exit slip space behind the moon, well, as much as they can, hiding the fleet from detection by the Covenant. I would deploy my Spartan teams to slowly make their way around the moon. At the same time, my fleet would go around the other side of the moon and assault the fleet. After getting into range, all my ships would fire simultaneous MAC blasts into the Covenant Battlecruiser, breaking its shields. This would allow my Spartans to blow a hole near the engine room and board the Battlecruiser. After breaking the shields, my fleet would retreat behind the moon, shielding them from fire. The Covenant would pursue. I'd then send one of my frigates to loop away and head back to the rendezvous point in case the Spartans failed and needed to evacuate. My fleet would then do a full circle around the moon and fly off in the middle of space, giving the long-range MAC cannons the advantage for a small opportunity window while they were out of range of the Covenant's weapons. As the Covenant fleet would begin to come around the moon, the Battlecruiser would come to a dead stop. The Spartans will have taken the engine rooms and shut them down, so only the corvettes are the threat to my fleet now. As the corvettes approach, my fleet would focus fire on one of the corvettes and take its shields down. But now, the corvettes would be in range. The Covenant corvettes would tear through my fleet and destroy 6 of my frigates and 2 of my heavy cruisers. But by now, my MAC cannons would have reloaded and would fire on the corvette, crippling it and knocking its power out, putting it out of the fight for the time being. Now my remaining fleet stand no chance against the corvette, so I ordered my fleet to rush past the corvette and regroup with the Battlecruiser, which would be near capture by the Spartans at this point. As the Covenant corvette turned, my fleet would reach the Battlecruiser and prepare for a final stand to allow the Battlecruisers to make it back to the UNSC. To make matters worse, a small Covenant fleet would have entered the system to stop the UNSC from taking their Battlecruiser. The first corvette reaches MAC range and my fleet would fire, but this time would fail to take the shields down, as my ship's numbers are heavily depleted. I would also recall the frigate I sent to the rendezvous point back to my fleet to have an additional ship, but at this point it wouldn't make much of a difference. Now I would move one of my most damaged heavy cruisers into a shield position, then evacuate it so it can act as a shield for the rest of my fleet. As the first corvette entered range, the shielding heavy cruiser would be cut down rather quickly, but its debris would still shield my fleet from the majority of the fire. But I would still lose 2 more of my frigates, and one of my heavy cruisers would take major damage. But now, my Spartans would capture the Battlecruiser, and using an AI to taking over its systems, and ejecting the remaining Covenant force into outer space, Battlecruiser would quickly finish off the corvette, and my fleet, as well as a captured Battlecruiser, enters slip space and escapes the pursuing Covenant forces. Well guys, this is how I would have captured a Covenant Battlecruiser. If you like these battle plan episodes, then let me know and I'll do more of them in the future. I've been Darren, have a good one guys, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye everyone.